At Christmas, my sister's kids got iPhones and laptops. Mine got socks. Mom said, "We did our best." I smiled, then quietly cut the $1,800 monthly money they'd been lying about for years. There are moments in life that hit you like a punch to the gut, but feel like a splash of ice water, waking you up. For me, that gut-wrenching truth landed hard on Christmas morning, watching my kids get socks while their cousins flaunted brand-new iPhones, and hearing my own mother effectively declare my children had no potential. My name is Cliff, I'm 36, an accountant here in New York City. And honestly, growing up, my unofficial job title in my family was reliable background character. My sister, Sam, everyone calls her Sam, she was the golden child. The one my mom posted about, the one my dad bragged about to anyone who'd listen. Me. I was the guy they called for small fixes. Not like a leaky faucet, but more like, "Hey, Cliff, can you just help us bridge this month?" I used to think that was just how families worked. The responsible one helps out. The parents get older, the golden child gets protected. I learned early that being easy meant being invisible. When I was 9, Sam got a shiny new bike because she really wanted it. I got my cousin's old one, seat held together with duct tape, because you don't care about that stuff, Cliff. At 16, Sam had braces and a whole back-to-school shopping spree. Me. You're tall enough, you'll grow into last year's jeans. So, I leaned into it. I got good grades, never asked for much, paid for my own stuff as soon as I could. I was the peacekeeper. Fast forward to today. I'm married to my incredible wife, Maya. We have 2 amazing kids, Noah, who's 7, and Ella, 5. They're loud, curious, and still think socks are the most exciting thing if they have dinosaurs on them. This past Christmas, we went home to my parents' place. Their living room looked like a tech store exploded. Sam's kids had mountains of gifts, all shiny paper and thick ribbons. My kids. 2 small bags, their names written in shaky marker. We did the whole Hallmark movie routine, hot chocolate, carols, my mom playing hostess. Then it was gift time. Sam's oldest tore into a box. "No way! An iPhone!" Another kid screamed, "I got an iPad!" Sam just laughed, all casual, "Oh my gosh, you guys be careful." Then my dad slid a long box over. Sam's husband whistled. "Laptop. Nice." My mom clapped her hands, beaming. We wanted them to have what they need for school. Finally, she turned to my kids. "Okay, sweeties, yours are right there." Noah pulled out gray socks. Ella pulled out pink ones. Still just socks. My son, in that honest, innocent way only a 7-year-old can manage, looked up at me. "Dad, is this my present?" My throat closed. I swallowed hard, forcing a smile because I didn't want him to feel embarrassed. "Yeah, buddy. Those are good socks." My mom tilted her head, like I was about to ruin her perfect scene. I kept my face neutral. Sam's husband chimed in, "Hey, socks are useful." Sam offered a dismissive smile, the kind you give a stranger's dog. Then, my mom said it. The line that hit me like a slap, delivered in a saccharine, candy cane voice. "We spent what we could afford, Cliff." I looked at the iPhones, the iPads, the laptop boxes piled high. Then I looked at the socks. I nodded once, like I accepted the math. "Fair," I said. My mom's smile twitched. Clearly annoyed I agreed. Sam raised an eyebrow, as if I'd just insulted everyone by saying absolutely nothing. And that, my friends, is how Christmas dinner officially began in my family. With my kids wearing socks they hadn't even asked for, and my mother acting like that was just reality. Here's the part no one at that Christmas party knew. My parents weren't comfortable. Not broke, but they'd been living like they were for years. And I'd been quietly filling the gaps, like spackle on a crumbling wall. It started 6 years ago. I was 30, Maya and I had just had Noah. Money was tight, normal new parent stress, but we were okay. I had my accounting job. We were renting a small place. We were doing the adult thing. Then I got a call from my mom. "Cliff, don't panic," she said. Which, of course, is always how it starts. Don't panic. Just casually don't panic. She told me, Your dad's consulting isn't steady right now. I remember just staring at a spreadsheet on my work monitor, phone pressed to my ear. Dad's consulting? I asked. She sighed, like I was slow. Yes, you know, the side work he does. My dad had never consulted a day in his life. He worked a normal job, retired early. But he loved telling people he consulted, because it sounded impressive. So I asked, okay, what do you need? Her voice went soft, the one she uses when she wants something but doesn't want to say she wants it. Could you send us something monthly, so we don't have to worry? Just for a little while. How much is something? There was a pause. Maybe $900. $900 a month. Just for a little while. I asked about their budget, their expenses, what had changed. My mom got irritated. Cliff, we don't need an interrogation. We just need help. Then my dad got on the phone, all tough guy voice. Son, I hate asking. He didn't sound like he hated it. He sounded entitled to it. Then he added the kicker, just keep it between us. People don't need to know our business. That should have been my first clue. Not thank you, not we'll pay you back. Just hide it. But I was tired. New baby stress. And that old reflex kicked in, be easy. So I set it up. Auto transfer. First of every month. $900. 2 months later, she called again. Cliff, do you think you could bump it a little? I actually laughed, thinking she was joking. I thought this was temporary. It is, she said quickly. It's just property taxes came up, and your dad's consulting client hasn't paid yet. Again with the consulting. How much? I asked. Maybe $1,200. Then it became $1,500. Then $1,800. And the framing was always the same. Never we're struggling, never we made mistakes, never we're scared. Always, we just need help this month. But this month became every month for 6 years. Do the math. $1,800 a month times 12 months is $21,600 a year. Multiply that by 6 years. That's $129,600. And that's just the monthly. That's not counting the random emergencies. $2,400 for a new water heater. $1,100 for my dad's dental work. $3,600 when my mom said the HOA was being ridiculous. Oh, and $800 because Sam had a rough month. Sam always floated through life like gravity didn't apply to her. She married a guy who changed jobs every time he got bored. They bought a house bigger than mine, even though I live in New York and they live in a cheaper state. They took vacations and posted photos, all blessed. Meanwhile, my mom would call me, whispering like she was in witness protection. Cliff, can you help Sam with her car payment? Just this once. I'd ask, why can't you help her? And my mom would hit me with the classic, you're better with money. Translation, you're easier to take from. Maya knew. Not all the details at first, but she knew the pattern. She'd watch my face change when my mom called. She'd ask, what happened now? And I'd always say, it's fine. It was always fine. Until the little humiliations started stacking up in public. Like the time we went to a family barbecue and my aunt said, Frank, how's consulting? My dad puffed out his chest. Busy, you know me. I was standing right there, holding a tray of food, and I almost choked. My mom looked at me over her wine glass, a silent warning, don't you dare. So I didn't. Because again, be easy. Then last year, I overheard my mom telling someone in the kitchen, thank God Frank still consults. That's what keeps everything stable. The person said, wow, Frank must be so proud. My mom laughed. Oh, he is. He likes providing. I stood in the hallway with a paper plate in my hand, and my brain just went quiet. Because I realized something that made my stomach churn. They weren't just taking my money. They were using my money to protect my dad's ego, to protect Sam's lifestyle, and to make sure nobody saw the truth. The truth being, their stability was me. And then came that Christmas. The gadgets, the socks, we spent what we could afford. I watched my son blink back confusion, trying not to look ungrateful. I watched my daughter squeeze her sock package like she was trying to convince herself it was exciting. And I watched my mother beam at Sam's kids like they were royalty. Maya leaned close to me and whispered, "Cliff, don't do that thing." "What thing?" I whispered back. "That thing where you swallow it and call it fine." I stared at my plate. And that's when my mom delivered one more little gift. She leaned across the table and said, loud enough for everyone, "You know, your kids don't really need expensive stuff. Sam's kids actually have potential." Potential? My son heard it. I saw his face change, and my blood went cold. This wasn't about money. Money was just the tool. This was about roles. Sam's family gets invested in. Mine gets managed. And they expected me to keep paying for the privilege of being treated like the family's default fixer. That night, after Christmas dinner, we put the kids to bed in my old room, the one that still had baseball posters and a dresser that squeaked. Noah whispered, "Dad, did I do something wrong?" My throat tightened. "What?" "No." "What?" He stared at the ceiling and said, "Grandma looked mad when I asked about my present." Maya sat on the edge of the bed, jaw tight. I forced my voice steady. "You didn't do anything wrong, buddy. Grandma just thinks socks are good." Noah nodded, accepting it. But kids don't forget tone. They don't forget the way adults treat them. When he finally fell asleep, Maya and I stepped into the hallway. She kept her voice low. "Your mom said our kids don't have potential." I leaned my head back against the wall. "I know." Maya crossed her arms. "And you're still planning to send them that money next week?" I didn't answer fast enough. That was my second clue, because I realized my silence had become automatic. Maya said, "Cliff, we're not rich. We're okay, but every month you send them $1,800. We tighten our budget. We delay things. We say no to stuff for our kids." I flinched. She was right. She went on, "And meanwhile, your sister's kids are unwrapping laptops." I rubbed my face with both hands. "I know." Her voice softened. "Why are you still doing it?" And I finally said the honest thing. "Because if I stop, they'll collapse. And they'll blame me." Maya just stared at me. "And you're okay with that?" I opened my mouth, closed it. Because I wasn't okay with it. I just trained myself to accept being blamed as normal. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. I kept hearing my mom's voice. "We spent what we could afford." I kept seeing my son's confused face. Around 2 a.m., I got up and went downstairs. The house was dark, except for the little Christmas lights glowing near the tree. I opened my banking app. There it was. The scheduled transfer. $1,800. January 1st. Auto. My finger hovered. I could almost hear my dad's voice in my head. "Family is family." Then I heard my mom's voice, sharper now. "Sam's kids have potential." I thought about how my parents told everyone the money was my dad's consulting income, like I was some shameful secret. And I thought about Noah asking if he did something wrong. That's when something in me settled. Not rage, not revenge. Just clarity. I hit pause. No dramatic speech, no text message, no announcement. Just one quiet click. Then I went back upstairs and laid next to Maya. She stirred. "You okay?" I whispered. "Yeah." Just couldn't sleep. I didn't tell her yet. I needed the decision to exist, without anyone talking me out of it. The next morning, we did Christmas Day like normal. Pancakes, kids playing. My mom acted slightly weird, like she could sense something. We drove back to New York that afternoon. And then, January 1st hit. I was in my kitchen, making coffee, when my phone started buzzing like it was trying to escape the counter. "Mom, Dad, Son." A number I didn't recognize. Then the texts started. "Mom, call me now." "Dad, Cliff." Answer. "Mom, the mortgage didn't go through." "Sam, what did you do?" Then my dad sent a screenshot from his bank app. It read, "Mortgage payment returned NSF." He called again. And again. My phone showed 19 missed calls. Then 34. Then 57. I just stared at it while the coffee dripped. Maya walked in, took one look at my face, and said, "It happened." I nodded. She didn't look happy. She looked tired. "Told you," she said softly. I finally answered my dad. He didn't even say hello. "Are you out of your mind?" I kept my voice calm. "Good morning to you, too. I'm not fixing it." Silence. Then my mom's voice cut in on speaker, like she'd been waiting right next to him. "You're punishing us because of Christmas presents? Are you serious?" I leaned on the counter, exhaled slowly. "This isn't about presents." "Then what is it?" my dad snapped. I said, "It's about 6 years." My mom scoffed. "Oh my God, don't start counting. That's disgusting." My hands tightened around my mug. "I've sent you $1,800 a month for 6 years. My dad barked, "Because you're our son." "And because you told everyone it was your consulting income," I said. Dead silence. My mom whispered, "Cliff." I cut her off. "You didn't just take the money. You used it to lie about your life." My dad's voice went low and dangerous. "Watch your tone." I almost laughed. Almost. Then Sam jumped in. "So, you're just going to let them lose the house?" I said, "Sam, you bought your kids iPhones." "That's not the point," she snapped. "It kinda is." My mom started crying instantly, like someone flipped a switch. "I can't believe you do this to us. Your father is humiliated. We have bills. We're old." I closed my eyes for a second, forcing myself to stay steady. I said, "I'm not doing this to you. I'm stopping something I should have stopped a long time ago." My dad shouted, "You think you're better than us because you have a city job?" I opened my eyes and said, very calmly, "This isn't about revenge. This is about closure." There was a pause, like they didn't know how to respond to a calm sentence. Then my mom hissed, "You always were cold." Maya stepped closer and quietly said, "Put it on speaker." I did. Maya spoke clearly. "Linda, Frank, our kids watched their cousins unwrap thousands of dollars in gifts while they got socks. Then you told Cliff you spent what you could afford, and you told our kids they don't have potential." My mom snapped, "I didn't mean it like that." Maya didn't raise her voice. "You said it. And Cliff has been funding your lifestyle while you pretend it's Frank's income." My dad yelled, "Stay out of this." Maya said, "No." And for the first time in my life, someone stood between me and my parents without flinching. My mom tried the fake sweet tone. "Cliff, honey, just restart it. We'll talk about this later." I said, "No." My dad, "Cliff." Me, "No." Sam, "You're ruining everything." Me, "No. I'm stepping out of the role you assigned me." Then I added, "If you need to sell the house, sell it. If you need to downsize, downsize. If you need to get jobs, get jobs." My dad exploded. "You can't do that to your own parents." I said, "I can and I am." My mom went cold. "Fine, but don't come crying to us when you need help." I almost smiled. "Mom, I've never needed help from you." Silence again, because they knew it was true. And I hung up. I thought the fallout would be a day, maybe a week. I underestimated how addicted my family was to my compliance. That first day, my phone looked like a slot machine. 83 missed calls. Voicemails stacked like bricks. My mom left one that was pure crying. My dad left one that was pure anger. Sam left one that was pure entitlement. My favorite voicemail was from my dad. He said, word for word, "You're going to put your mother in the ground." I stared at that transcription and felt something snap. Not guilt. Just disgust. Because what kind of parent says that to their kid? Then the texts shifted from panic to strategy. "Mom, we can tell everyone you're withholding money from us." "Dad, you think people won't judge you?" "Sam, Grandma is crying. Are you happy?" Then my aunt texted me. "Aunt Julie, your mother says you're cutting them off to punish them. Please be the bigger person." I replied, "Julie, I've been sending them $1,800 per month for 6 years. They told people it was Dad's consulting. Ask them why. No response. My cousin texted next. Cousin Mark, dude, is it true you were paying their mortgage? I stared at that for a long time. So the secret was slipping. Good. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I was done carrying their lie. 2 days later, my parents showed up in New York. No warning, just my building buzzer going off like a fire alarm. Maya looked at me. Don't. I didn't buzz them in. My mom started calling through the intercom. Cliff, open the door. We came all this way. My dad's voice boomed in the lobby. Stop acting like a child. I sat on my couch, phone in my hand, heart racing like I was 12 again. Maya sat next to me and said, "You don't have to open that door." So, I didn't. They stood there for 20 minutes. Then my mom texted, "Your neighbors are watching." This is humiliating. I typed back, "So was pretending Dad consulted for 6 years." No reply. That weekend, Sam posted on Facebook, not naming me, but it was obvious. Some people forget who raised them. Sad when money changes someone. Comments poured in. Hearts. So sorry. Family is everything. I didn't respond. I just blocked her. I was done playing the public game. My parents tried another angle. Compromise. My mom called and suddenly sounded reasonable. Cliff, okay, let's be adults. We just need help until we refinance. I said, refinance what? Our mortgage. She snapped, like I was supposed to just accept the plan. I said, so, the plan is I pay until you find another way to keep the house you can't afford? My mom whispered, it's our home. I said, and Noah and Ella are my responsibility. Then I offered something I actually meant. I'll pay for a financial counselor to sit down with you. I'll help you make a budget. I'll help you sell the house and move somewhere affordable. I'll even cover moving costs. My dad exploded again. We don't need charity. I said, then you don't need my money. He yelled, that money was family. I said, no, that money was control. Then he said the quiet part out loud. If you don't pay, we'll tell everyone you abandoned us. I replied, tell them whatever you want. Just make sure you also tell them you called it consulting income. He hung up. The next month, their mortgage was late again. I got another wave of calls. Then my mom tried something new. She texted Maya. If Cliff doesn't fix this, the kids will blame him when we lose the house. Maya showed me the message and said, that's it. She blocked her, too. And the weird part, the world didn't end. We still went to work. We still made dinner. We still did homework and baths and subway rides. Life just continued. And every time I didn't send that $1,800, it felt like my lungs had more room. 2 weeks later, I got an email from my dad. Not a text, an email, like he was documenting evidence. Cliff, we have spoken to the bank. We will incur fees. This is your responsibility as our son. If you don't reinstate the monthly support, we will be forced to consider options. Options. That sounded like threats. So, I replied with one sentence. I'm not reinstating anything. My offer stands, budgeting help and moving costs. Nothing else. Then, I stopped checking my phone every 5 minutes. Because the truth was, their panic was loud. But my life was finally quiet. In the months after, my parents did what they should have done years ago. They adjusted. Not gracefully, not quickly, but they adjusted. They sold the house. My mom told everyone it was time for a simpler life. My dad told people he wanted less upkeep. Sam told people it was sad what happens when family doesn't support each other. They moved into a smaller place 2 towns over. And for the first time, their life matched their actual budget. They still tried little guilt pokes. My mom would text on random Tuesdays, your father misses you, or family dinner is Sunday. Don't be stubborn. But the tone changed, because the leverage was gone. They weren't talking to their ATM anymore. They were talking to a person. And I changed too. I stopped explaining myself in circles. I stopped negotiating with people who treated my boundaries like a personal insult. I stopped teaching my kids that being mistreated is the price of family. One night, Noah asked me, "Are we going to Grandma's again?" I said, "Not right now." He nodded. "Okay." That was it. No fear, no guilt, just acceptance. Because kids don't actually need toxic traditions. They need stable parents. Maya and I sat down and did the thing I'm best at, the numbers. We took that $1,800 and we split it. A college account for Noah. A college account for Ella. An emergency fund, so we're not one crisis away from panic. And yes, sometimes fun. Like taking our kids to the science museum and letting them pick overpriced snacks without making it a whole lesson about sacrifice. The next Christmas, we stayed in New York. We made cinnamon rolls. We watched movies. We wore matching pajamas Maya bought because she thought it was funny. Noah opened a mid-range tablet we'd saved for, not because he needed it, but because we wanted him to feel seen. Ella got a kid camera and took blurry photos of our cat for 2 hours straight. Maya looked at me over her coffee and said, "You okay?" I looked around at my apartment, at my kids laughing, at the quiet, and I realized something simple. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just done. The moral is stupidly clear now, but it took me most of my life to learn it. Being the dependable one doesn't mean being the disposable one. You can love people and still say no. You can help people and still refuse to be used. And if someone only wants you when you're paying, they don't miss you. They miss the benefit. So yeah, my parents lost their consulting income. But my kids gained a father who finally understands what he owes them. Not socks. Not silence. Not a forced smile while someone else gets everything.